Welcome everyone to this edition of Talented Universe. And I'm all red. Okay, I'll have to fix that in a minute. But I prefer not to be red, so it's just something that goes on. But I before I introduce our guest and my co-host, I want to say something in the chat room. Please, if you're in the chat room, please keep your questions aimed at asking Taylor questions. If you start chit-chatting with your buddies in the chat room, it takes me a lot longer to figure out which are questions to Taylor and which are not questions to Taylor. So please help me so I don't pull out the rest of my hair that I've got and just keep the chat room to questions for Taylor. Thank you very much. So, Marcia, how are you doing this fine day?
I'm doing great. It's the end of 2025 and we're heading into a bright new year, so I'm ready.
Yeah, and I mean, I was just looking and I was looking how many vertical drama guests we've had, and we are getting ready to cross 100.
Yay.
Wow.
And that's just since February. So
Wow.
it's kind of crazy. But I would like to introduce our special guest today. And I hope I forgot to ask you. I hope I'm going to pronounce it right.
Okay.
Taylor, that's really hard. I mean, that's so hard.
You nailed it, though. You nailed it.
I nailed it. That's good. I nailed it. And it's Danehower. Is that correct?
That was perfect.
Okay, so Taylor and Danehower. Woo! Welcome to Talented Universe. I think we had your roommate on too a month or so ago.
Yes, you had my roommate here. She only had the best things to say. She's like, "You have to do this. They are amazing."
Well, that's good. I'm sure she'll change her mind now, but we have to tell everybody that you had a good time. No, but anyway, I mean, I am going to go ahead and go to one of the questions in the chat room. I think I know how you're going to answer this because I know I would answer it the same way. So Justin wants to know, with all the characters you've played, would any of them would like to hang around in real life, go to brunch or something like that, if they were really real people?
Yeah, I would definitely like to hang out with Brooke, the character I played in Deadly Divas.
Yes.
She's cool. She's kind of edgy. And she's definitely that friend that puts you in your place a little bit. So if we went out for brunch and I was telling her what's going on in my life, I feel like she'd be the friend and like almost a sister to be like, you need to get your life together.
There you go.
Like in a good way though. Like she's not mean, but she's very just like, on it and just very like opinionated. So definitely her. Definitely Brooke.
And let me ask you this. I think Marcia may talk about this. We were talking about it a little bit before we went on air. Your movie, you fired a fashion icon.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, that was crazy. And I was like, there is no way in the world you could design and put together an entire collection in 2 hours. And I went, that is just so absolutely off the wall. It fits into a vertical just fine.
I mean, she's a prodigy. It's Danny Maxwell.
Well, I know, but it was like,
Do it.
It was like, give me a break. And I don't know. I just thought that was hysterically funny. I mean, it's just like, really? 2 hours?
And like she's using like the chandelier and like the curtains. Like she's using like,
I love that.
It's so creative, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Okay, this is a good one from Ryan
Hey, Ryan.
Ellis Baker. What's your go-to process for getting into your more unhinged characters?
Oh, I love this question. So, I feel like the unhinged characters are actually much easier for me to get into because I'm not really like an unhinged. I don't think I'm super unhinged in real life, but it's just easier for me to just step into this like bold energy where I'm allowed to yell or just be like, I don't know what I'm doing, but it's fun and I'm just finding something along the way. Like when I play more of like a nice girl character or a character that has more logic, I actually find it harder. Like I feel like I have to hold back a little bit. I like to kind of have this bold presence, and I think my background being a dancer, it's like once you start dancing and you're giving everything. So that's how I feel when I do these unhinged characters. So I don't ever want to like predict anything I'm doing. So when I'm doing my process and like my, getting into the character, I make sure that I'm just letting it be very unpredictable. And it's like, okay, this scene tomorrow on set is going to be a surprise for me and everyone else. And I just keep it at each take. I don't judge it. I just kind of like let it. That's what happened in that take. She's unhinged. There's no, she's not supposed to act this way or this way. It's like, it's supposed to just be dramatic and how it is. So I love unhinged characters, actually. I love playing them. I'll play them anytime, any day.
So basically, for you it's easier because you can just let go.
Yeah, for sure. Because like being more subtle is a little bit more difficult because sometimes if you don't do subtlety correctly, it's not really coming across. So you have to be very particular about what you do, and I think I have to put more process into that and more planning into like, okay, like she feels this, how can I show it really subtly? When like the bigger characters or the unhinged characters, they can just throw their arms or, raise their voice or just do something more with movement and freedom. So yeah.
Well, that is cool. This is the last question before I'm going to go to Marcia. Elizabeth Gallo says, if you could star beside any famous actor today, who would it be?
Ooh. One of my favorite actors of all time is Emmy Rossum. She, if whoever's watching this, if they're unfamiliar, she is Fiona in Shameless, and she's been in a bunch of other movies as well as Phantom of the Opera. She's also extremely unhinged character, at least in Shameless. And I think she's just such an amazing actress. And I would love to maybe play her sister. We both have dark hair, or just like be in the same room as her because she's so passionate about what she does. And I would just love to absorb whatever energy she brings to set.
There you go. Marcia?
Yeah, I wanted to go ahead and continue with your unhinged characters.
Let's name them out.
Daddy forgot, but mommy remembers. Oh my goodness. Talk about unhinged. What did you think when you first read the script?
Yeah, so I remember receiving that script like 2 days before we started filming the project. Like it was very like, these are very fast turnarounds. So this one was particularly fast as well. And when I first read Sarah, I questioned a lot of her motives and like why she was doing certain things.
Oh yeah.
She's how they name these characters, very manipulative, very jealous, and they want something that someone else has. So of course I had those in mind. Sarah was a bit of a challenge for me at first because there's a few scenes where I really didn't, agree with what she was doing. And so it was more of like okay, how can I figure out and how can I like enjoy this? Like there's a scene where, the main actress, I forget her name in the thing, but Sammy in real life, I summoned my henchman to beat her up. And I remember that day on set, first off, I think Sammy's like the sweetest person I've ever met, and I like love her. And I was like, she was like one of the only people I felt really bad being a villain to, because she's so sweet. So I remember that scene in particular was really difficult for me, because I was kind of feeling like I was like getting too much of like Taylor brain, and like I wouldn't want anyone to get beat up ever, especially this person. So yeah, so Sarah, it was a bit of a challenge, but I think at the end of the day, I gave her an underlying motive, and I think that motive was, she really does believe that she's kind of she has this royalty to her, she has this blood to her, but she actually doesn't have it. It's actually an insecure of hers, because of course they don't, in the series, don't give her a childhood, but I did. And I gave her this identity that she's an orphan, and that she actually, got adopted by a family, and that they accepted her, but she thinks that they're weak. They have a lot of money, and she's like, why don't they use it? And then she thinks Ethan's hers. And so I was just kind of like creating my motives and doing, the actor process with that. So that was really helping with that character in particular.
I really appreciate that you gave Sarah a backstory, because that for me immediately adds depth to her, although she wasn't redeemed at all.
At all. At all. Yeah, I remember reading that and being like, sometimes I do wish, some of these characters do get a redemption arc. And I understand why they don't with most series, because, it's fast, it moves fast, and we obviously know who we're rooting for very early on. But it would be interesting to me, getting some type of redemption for some of the, villain girls, because, we don't know Sarah. Like, we don't know where she really ended up, except in prison.
And I see comments from fans who wish for just that, who say, okay, now that we know Sarah ends up in jail, well, what happens to her? What's next for her? Because the main story got a nice ending, and so I wonder, and I think other fans do hope that we maybe can see things like that, and you can come back and play Sarah. Redemption, but maybe not quite.
Yeah, I would love to see that too. Just some type of redemption.
And you had Riley Nottingham, who we had on the show, was one of your foils in, and also Travis, Scott Travis, we've also had on the show, and he was in this too. And it's so much fun, because the community, we start to see the community of actors. And do you find that you starting to see more of some of the same people and work with some of the same actors?
Yeah, I love going on set and seeing the people that I, work with these on and haven't seen in a while, because the community is very small. You start seeing the same actors over and over again. And if anything, like now it's getting even more niche than it was. Like they only really want people that, I guess it depends on the production, but what I'm seeing is they kind of want people with experience. They want people that have done a lot of them. So it's getting even, more gated in a way. So it's really fun. I've actually worked with, Scott's done like 50 or 60 articles. He's probably done the most out of anyone I've ever met. And I actually had worked with him in December, and I hadn't seen him in over a year until I worked Daddy Forgot But Mommy Remembers. And so it's just like a nice reunion. And then even Riley, I actually worked with Riley on a feature film a few months back, and then we saw each other on this set. So it's like, it's very fun to see each other, and because we get so close in these like 10 days we work 12 hours, we're together all day, and then we just get off the project and we don't see each other. So it's you'd have to really go out of your way to see people, but it's really nice to see them again on set. One of my other friends, I worked with him in China. And then a few months later, I worked with him on a Lifetime set. And so it was really fun to see him again, be like, what's up? And be like in that like vertical community.
When I look at, I guess it's coming on, of course, we look at social media and look for photos and things. And I saw a little video that you made of you apparently had gotten short notice on a part and or you were packing and throwing something. Well, was that for real or was that kind of
Yeah, that was 100% real. I had booked a project through my agent, and my agents are amazing. I love them. So they had gotten me this role in Vancouver in Canada, and I was ready to go. It was like I had packed everything, and then within 2 days they were like, actually, like we're just gonna like go in a different direction after all the paperwork and stuff. And I was like,
okay.
and it's moments like that you know they're not amazing, but you kind of just as an actor you have to be really like resilient and kind of say, okay, didn't work out, maybe it didn't work out for good reason, maybe I would have been really cold and got frostbite, I don't know, you make up reasons of why you didn't get that role or didn't end up having that experience. But yes, that was true, and that was a real text message. I mean, obviously the packing's a little fake because I already packed, but
you gave us the energy and the emotion.
thank you. I was trying to be like, oh no.
And but before I go back to Michael, I did want to talk about your dance background, where you have been dancing practically your whole life.
Yeah, I've been dancing since I was 5 years old, so it's been like almost 20 years ish. It's just crazy to me. I originally just wanted to be a professional dancer, and I went to theater school, and then that's when I picked up acting. But I didn't pick up acting till I was, about 19. So I guess you could say a little later, but everyone picks it up at a different time. But I love dance so much, and I think being a dancer my entire life has taught me so many lessons and helps me in every single thing that I do, especially with long days on set. It's hard being in heels all day long, but I'm like, it's harder to be at a rehearsal in heels all day long. So it's really prepared me for what I'm doing now with my life. And I still do it all the time. I don't have as much time to work jobs dancing, but I still have it as a hobby, and I'm trying my hardest to book a vertical where they allow me to dance. I've been trying to do it for months. I'm like, please let me dance. Please let me dance. Any style. So hopefully soon. I'm manifesting it for 2026. But yeah, love it. Love dance.
Yeah, I even saw your what I think was a graduation video that you have on YouTube that kind of showed your progression as a dancer over the years. There was some of you as a child and some as in your with your colleagues, and it's so much fun to add those bits to the actors that we have come to enjoy on verticals and other things. And so I'm going to go back to Michael because I know we've got some stuff going.
Got a few little odds and ends. This is from Andrew DeBurrow, at someone you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Congrats on your success. Was there a particular moment you remember where you knew you wanted to be an actor, or did it happen over time?
Oh, it's a great question. So I think when I reflect just on my life and growing up, I always kind of knew in the back of my head I wanted to be an actress. But I was dancing. So I always had some type of element of performance that was very important in my life. But I wasn't acting growing up. And when I decided to move to New York City and attend my college, like a musical theater program, I started with acting classes. And the minute I just started learning lines, and I was just connecting with the material, and I was like, this feels really right for me. And it was like a different type of passion that I had found. And I think since starting acting class, it was kind of like how can I do this more, and how can I make this more a part of what I do and be the thing that I do. So I think there's always been a knowing in my head that I wanted to do film particularly, but it didn't really express itself until I, moved away from home and I was in a different environment and I just tried. Yeah.
Let's see. Let me go to the other question. Wait a minute. Okay. This is from Alexander Quesada. Congrats, Taylor. Across your career, what was your most happiest, hardest, or memorable day on set?
Ooh. I mean, I try to approach every day on set to be my happiest day. But I think I'll answer this question with hardest day, because those are the days that you really grow.
Good way to
This was
put it.
actually, it's going to be a year now, when January comes, that I was working in China. And I had worked 2 projects out there. The second project that I worked was in the north of China. And at first I was in the South China, very warm, beautiful weather. Like I got sunburned one day. It was that nice. And then I went to the north of China. It was the coldest weather I'd ever been. And I grew up in Pennsylvania. So we would film a lot outside and we weren't necessarily in coats and we had skirts on and things like that. So there was a little bit of, disorganization on set, because of course these film really last minute. So if everything isn't planned out, there's actually basically on every project that I work, there's always, and in film in general, I believe there's always something that kind of goes wrong, but that's kind of the part of the process. It's fun. But this day in particular, we were on set and it was like snow on the ground, ice, and it was the coldest weather I've ever experienced. And we're doing a scene outside, and it's the introduction to my character. And we were booming it, which means that the microphone wasn't on me, for people that don't know that. It was the guy holding the microphone. And I step out of the car, my character steps out of the car, and it was so windy. You could hear the wind. It was that kind of day. And my hair was just in my face, and I'm in the scene and no one's calling cut. I'm like, yeah. So and I'm just moving my hair out of my face. It's literally in my mouth. It's in my eyes. I'm like, no one's calling cut. I'm just acting in the scene. And I'm like, this is the first time I see my character. Can we pin my hair up or something? But the whole time, the other actor was this far from me and I couldn't hear him the whole scene. So I'm like, yeah. And then the girl's over there and I'm like, I don't know what anyone's saying. And then they go, cut. Okay, on to the next. And I was like,
what?
You didn't get that. You didn't get that. And they're like, no, we got it. And I was like, and it was just being out in the freezing cold all day. They were like, if you're cold, we have Jaeger. And I'm like, I don't drink Jaeger on set or ever, really. So I think just being in the cold, we were sitting in vans a lot. They don't really have heating in the buildings. And being there all day, I had first scene of the day and then the last scene of the day. So just being in that cold between takes and not really getting to, do what I want to do and act and have, because it's everyone's freezing. You kind of just get the take and have to move on. That was probably my hardest day on set. Just trying to get comfortable and trying to find warmth. Yeah.
I can't, well, since my heat went out about a week ago for 2 days, I can kind of relate.
Yeah. I mean, Maryland gets cold.
Yes. And it was the week that we had wind chills of almost 0. And that's when my heat went out. It was like, yeah, thank you.
Timing.
Perfect timing. Perfect timing.
Perfect.
Now, Marky Keenan asked, Taylor, how do you prepare for auditions or callbacks?
Yeah, so for every audition's different because some auditions I'm given a lot more time. So of course, anything I get the most time with, I prepare more. I try to prepare more. But typically, I'd say the time frame is I typically get an audition that's probably due in 2 days. I feel like the best way for me to prepare for an audition, like a self-tape, would be to understand the scene. I think a lot of actors kind of miss. I think it's really, because it's really exciting to get a scene and be like, I just want to jump in and I just want to be, I want to like start the emotion of it, and I'm excited to start that. But every time I do that, I realize I learned the scene wrong. I'm like, oh, I didn't understand the scene at all, because we're only given, the script is this, and then we're given this like little amount. So we have to really like be detectives in a way, and like look for context clues, and to be like, okay, I mentioned this person named Sam. Who is Sam? Like, what tone of voice should I have when I mention this person? Or like, are they over there? Like, oh, Sam. Like you have to be an actor. Like, to be an actor, you have to like do those things and really dissect it. So I'll read the audition, the scene multiple times to really understand what I'm saying, who I am, what I'm doing. And then I typically get off book for it. I understand my line so that I can have freedom in the scene and know what I'm doing, of course. And then I kind of I try to have a strict rule where I only film it twice. And I typically end up submitting the first one because it's the most authentic, because you kind of get in this actor brain where you can do the audition 15 times and you're realizing like it just has no newness to it. It doesn't feel like the first time you're saying these words when, in real life, whenever you typically have a conversation, it's typically the first time you're ever saying these words. So you have to find that, but you can't over practice. So that's why the preparation is really important. It's like prepare and then just kind of let it go. And typically you only really get, especially with verticals, you only really get 1 to 2 takes on every scene. So it's kind of, I think it's a good muscle to practice. And I try to do that with callbacks, because callbacks, they may have you do it 15 times or just once. So you have to be prepared to do both.
Depends what they want. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to do one more question, then I'm going to go back to Marcia, and then I'll go some of these other questions. Let's see, Dominic Bertone, I hope I said that right. Congrats, Taylor. I love your verticals. My question is, what has been one of your favorite scenes you have filmed, and why?
Ooh. I've had a lot of really fun scenes in my verticals. I love anything with combat. So anything with combat, I'm there, I'm present, I'm super excited. But sometimes I like just a challenge. So I remember I did this one scene in a vertical called Sense and Sensibilities. And the scene was like, it made no sense. I laughed every time I read it. I laughed out loud. And like when we were all on set, we were laughing. Essentially, the scene is I'm sitting there sick in bed, but I want his attention really bad. So I'm like making it up. And the doctor's like, just a little bit of a indigestion. And he walks out. It's like already funny. And the guy's like, I don't want anything to do with you. But she's trying to get him, like, I please be with me. And I don't feel good. And he writes her like a $2 million check. And he's like, here, stay out of my life. And it's just funny to me because I'm like, what is going on? So that scene was really fun for me to film because I was like, I really want to like give everything to this. So in this scene, I'm like faking, I'm in pain. I'm like, and then I'm like, and then I was like, I want to produce real tears for this. I was like working really hard to produce, like, if you watch it, they cut it so fast, but like I have some tears running down. And then he gives me the check and I'm like, I don't know what to do with this, but I just got some money. So it was like, I think that was really fun to film. It was really fun to film.
Marcia.
Okay, now we've done the fun films. How about you've done some opposite, like horror? And there was one that you did, Nanticoke, which was actually filmed in Pennsylvania, but not really near where you lived, I don't think.
Yeah, no, not near.
But I read a bunch about the town was so excited to have everybody there, and a bunch of the extras were from the townspeople, and it's kind of a zombie thing. So
Mhm.
that's very different. How was that for you?
That was such an exciting film for me because it was my first ever speaking role I ever had in a film.
Oh,
And originally, I was living in New York at the time. The only film I had ever done was a music video. So, of course, I don't need to learn lines. And I had auditioned for nurse number 5. I was like, I just want to be on set. I just want to see how it is. And I sent my audition, and then they were like, actually, can you read for the lead girl? And I was like, okay, cool. And I was really lucky enough to book it. And what's really cool is it is far from me, but I had like a place to stay close by at that area. So it kind of worked out perfectly. And it was really fun to see how much community was involved in that film because, like you said, it was the entire town was involved in the film. Like we had the mayor of Nanticoke in the film, we had police officers, we had pedestrians who were zombies. So it was really fun. And I, that film will always have an appreciation. I always have appreciation for it because it was my, one of my first projects I've ever done and experienced. And I have some really fun combat in that movie, which was like my favorite part. And just recently, we filmed that like 2.5 years ago now. It's been a long time, and it just recently came out on Prime Video and Tubi, which is the first streaming platforms that I've been on personally. So it's been just really exciting to see it all happen and get support, especially from the town. And it's a small town. It's like, I believe the population's like 28,000. So it meant a lot to those people, and it meant a lot to me too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that Michael had put up a yeah. She talked about your combat.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah. And also, you did a short, The Underling, which was a film about, was it endometriosis, the
Yeah.
underlying pain, the underlying pain, yeah. And that was very different as well for you. Was that and also an earlier role, or was that a little bit later?
Actually, that was pretty recent. It was about a year ago I did that. I like to kind of jump all over and I'm still very early in my career, so I like to see. I always want to test my limits and to see how. I don't want to like define myself into one genre, so I do like to kind of see what I like doing the most, and I feel like to do that is to experience it. That was a really beautiful film because the writer and of that film, she has endometriosis, which I wasn't really familiar with before, but essentially it's an illness that some women can get, where basically like the uterus tissue can grow outside your uterus and contract every month and act as a period. So it causes a lot of inflammation, and it causes a lot of just hurt. Hurt is the word, pain in someone's body. It causes adhesions, which bring organs, can put organs that are not supposed to together. And so it's just very painful. And she was really open with me, and she shared her surgery. She's had surgery about actually just like a few times, and it grows back. And I just appreciated her vulnerability and her journey that she was sharing. And that short film was all about her struggle with that. And so it was really amazing experience to be a part of that and to kind of hear something that I didn't know anything about, and that doesn't really get the attention it deserves, and even a lot of the treatments they're not studied a lot. So to bring awareness to something was really special.
Mm-hmm. And I love talking about the different roles that you have and different experiences that are adding to your repertoire and adding to your body of work. I want to throw in music videos. You've done some music videos,
Yeah.
and one we had David Eves on the show, and it was the dreaming video where spin.
Hmm. Also filmed in Pennsylvania,
Also
which
filmed.
is funny.
Mhm,
Yeah, that was actually my first ever film
mhm.
project ever.
Oh.
That I was mentioning earlier that I'd done a music video before, and it's really fun. It's also really interesting to see a lot of these actors that I worked with that were on completely different projects working on verticals. Like David. Like David was one of the first co-stars that I ever had. Actually, he was the first co-star I ever had, and now he does verticals. And then even in Nanticoke, the guy who plays my husband, his name's Hunter Cole. He also does
Hunter,
Yeah.
yes.
yeah, and so it's been really fun to see like how this industry being so new has picked up a lot of actors that it just is a small world. It's a very small world.
Hmm. And with music videos, when you film a music video, was the time as similar to a vertical as far as the amount of time you had to film? Do you remember?
Yes, but music videos are a little bit more. They're a lot less preparation than verticals. I mean, verticals we film very fast. We film, about 20, sometimes more pages a day, which is
Hmm.
a lot. And so you kind of come in every day having just a lot of lines and having a lot of preparation ahead of you. While music videos are more, you can't really prepare too much because you don't know what kind of environment you're in. You don't
Hmm.
know who you're really with. So they'll more block you when you get on set, and then you have to kind of just trust your instincts and know what world you're living in. But I feel like music videos are just a bit more on your feet. I mean, verticals are very on your feet too, but just you don't have to prepare as much. Verticals are definitely like try to learn as many lines as you can because it'll help you with the fast filming.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. And I also I love talking about your other talents that you may have. And one of them that was really interesting was palm reading.
Yeah. Yeah. Palm reading.
How your palm reading, how did that come into your life?
Yeah. I when I was in college, I was just so interested. I've always been interested in spiritual things. I'm a very spiritual person, and so I like anything with like metaphysics. I'm there. Like a crystal shop, I'm in there. I just like that energy, and I've always liked that energy. And
Yes.
palm reading was always just interesting to me because it's like we look down our palms every day, but we don't really think about maybe what it's reflecting to us because everything reflects something to us if you really think about it. And I just picked up a book and I started learning about the lines. You have like the four major lines, and then you learn about the mounts like on your palm and how they're different on everything. So that was just like a kind of like a hobby I had. And also at the time I was a dancer and I was like, well, if I book a cruise ship, they always want special skills and that could be great too.
In your off time, huh?
Hmm.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I work two jobs. So that's always been interesting to me, but I typically don't tell people I can do it because I used to like, in college I'd like go to hangouts or parties and there'd be like a line of people asking me to palm read them. Not that I don't want to, but you get to be like, all right, I don't I'm not that good at it. Like I just kind of
Hmm.
know the basics and I'd say I'm pretty intermediate, but I love palm reading. I think it's so interesting and
Ah, so we want
unpack.
to see that in a vertical.
Ooh,
Hmm.
ooh, should hire me.
Michael, did you want to take it, or I have?
Well, yeah, yeah. Then I'm going to take it, and then you'll have your final round,
Hmm.
flash round, or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, this is from Gabriel Ortega.
Okay.
Love you, Taylor. Number one fan. Where's one of your dream locations for a
Mhm.
set? And I guess that's where maybe you'd like to go, or
Yeah.
you've been and you'd like to go back again?
Ooh. I'm a big traveler. I love traveling. So I love when I get the opportunity to travel while doing what I love and get paid for it. So that's like, my bag is packed.
So any
I'm ready
place,
to
are you
go.
saying? Any place?
Any place, but I would probably say somewhere I know I'm not going to go. I think right now on my radar is Australia.
You may go there. I mean, you never know.
You're right. I could go there, but I would love to film in Australia. Like, I think it'd be really fun. And I think the people are, every Australian I've met is very nice.
We've had a lot of people from Australia and the vertical world on our show.
That's why I'm like, I think it's
Yeah.
realistic in terms of like, could be the
Yes, I would say it's possible.
It's possible.
It's possible. And this one is from Above Idea Productions.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. Hey, Taylor, it's JR. Congrats on your success. And my question is, when has been the most funniest day on set for you?
Funniest day on set.
Someone broke you up and you just couldn't control yourself, or just the whole situation, what was going on was too much and it was out of your control?
Yeah, I think the funniest day on set was, I mentioned this vertical earlier that I had done Sense and Sensibilities.
Mm-hmm.
The first, I came in, I think I came in the second day first. I came in, my character, she's unhinged. So we're in the unhinged energy. And the first take in the first scene that I do, I pull this necklace off of the girl's neck, and I'm very like, sassy, like that. And I turn around, I'm like, and I like strut down the hallway, and I fully go and fall right on my knee. And I was so embarrassed because like I wasn't like walking normal either. Like, I just slipped and I fell. And I'm also from the East Coast, so I feel like I filmed this. I now live on the West Coast, and we film most verticals on the West Coast. The people are a little bit different, so I feel like back at home I would have been laughed at. Like, obviously they would care, but it'd be like, oh, she fell. But everyone was so concerned. They were like, oh my God, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, please laugh at me. Like, I'm embarrassed, please. So I think that was my funniest day on set, because I was giving everything, and then I just got humbled really fast. Right away.
Like, no.
On the 10-day shoot.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm having an issue trying to pull this one up. Wait a minute. Try again. Alexander Casada Show says, what's one location if you could travel for a film project, where would you want to go? You've kind of answered this sort of, but they want a specific place.
They want a specific place. Australia is not good enough.
As I said, but then again, before I think they wrote the question when you were saying, "Oh, I'd go anywhere. I'd love to travel."
Oh,
so
okay.
Maybe that's what I just wanted to throw it up, because they hadn't asked a question yet. But
yeah.
Besides Australia, is there any other place that you kind of would like to go?
Yeah, I would love to go to Rome. Film in Italy. I think I've heard of some friends of mine doing that, and I'm like, that's beautiful. I'd love to do that. And then like maybe some type of island, like Madagascar, or take me somewhere I've never been, like like Thailand. That would be great.
They have been filming in Thailand, so that is a possibility. Yeah. And here's the last question we're going to put up for today. This is, and I think you might know this person, Bob Gillis. Who besides your parents is your most influential family members, and siblings don't count either? So is this a loaded question, Taylor?
I'm so grateful. I have, that's my Uncle Bob. Thank you.
That's what I figured. Yeah.
I have, I'm really lucky. I have a big family, and I have a very supportive family. So, family is just the one thing you can really lean on.
Mhm.
So I have so many cousins and so many aunts and uncles. Like my Uncle Bob is amazing. so influential to me. Yeah, I would say I would just say a combination of people like in my family. Everyone kind of serves different purposes, but for me it's just family, friends. It's just about who shows up and who gives you the time of day, and who comes on a podcast to come listen to me talk about whatever I'm going to talk about, whatever you ask me. It's just people that show up really influence me to, and support me. Like that means everything to me, if that answers the question.
It does to me. I
Yeah.
hope it does to him too.
Yeah.
Marcia, I'll let you do
Yeah.
your last round of questions.
Okay. Yeah. Looking at roles that you've had, the costumes have been, varied and but what is your personal style, your casual style? How would you describe your personal style of dress and being?
My family, like, they have this joke that I dress like Adam Sandler. Like all the time. I like right now, I feel like I'm dressed like cutesy and yeah, but I'm a lot of time I'm wearing sweatpants and like a humongous t-shirt like to my knees. I'm like unrecognizable. So I like to be comfortable. I like to be comfortable, and I'll go to the store like that. Like I know a lot of people are like, a lot of people are like, oh no, makeup. Like I want to put makeup on for the store and like a nice outfit. I don't care. I'm like, if I had paparazzi, I would have so many awful photos. Like, thank God I don't. But that's just more my cozy fits. But I like to wear a lot of. I kind of change up my style a lot. I don't know. I just feel like I'm not really like, this is it for me. I'm always like changing what I wear and having different types of styles. I like to wear a lot of like things like this, or I like to wear a lot of black, and I like to wear a lot of rings. So like those things are kind of consistent, but I don't really have like a straightforward style. I change it up a lot. Yeah.
That's like your characters. Are you ready to jump in?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And probably one of my most fun questions that I like to ask is, reality shows are really popular now. There are cooking shows, there are dancing shows, there are quiz shows. If you had to pick a show to be on, what do you think it might be? Could be
Jersey Shore. Hands down. I love Jersey Shore. I know it's not like, they still kind of have episodes, but I'm thinking, to the like the older things, because I'm kind of close to Jersey. Like we used to spend our summers at the Jersey Shore. I used to go to Wildwood, and I just love Jersey Shore, and I think they would all be really fun to hang out with. So 100% that show, hands down. Honorable mentions would be like any kind of cooking show. I love Nailed It. I would like love to try to bake something so fast and see if I could do it.
That's a fun show. I love cooking shows too.
I love them. Yeah.
And you put yourself out there.
Yeah, please, I'm manifesting Nailed It appearance.
And I think these are all great ideas for verticals.
Me too.
So, and where do you think, or you hope, verticals are going? What would you like to see in the next wave?
Yeah, the vertical wave has been really fun and interesting because none of us really know where it's going, and most of us, when we first booked our first verticals, were like, what is this? It had labeled, when I first booked my first vertical, it was labeled as like mobile soap opera. So
Mobus.
I was like, I don't know what that is, but did I just book something huge? And so it's been really fun to see how much this industry has grown in such a fast period of time. And it makes a lot of sense, everyone's on their phone. So why not bring the entertainment to the phone where it's more convenient than, going home and watching TV or turning your phone over. Mm-hmm. For me, I would love to see more genres. I would love to do a horror. I know they've done a few horror verticals, but right now they're very honed into this specific type of writing. And you get werewolves, you get mafia, you get these things, and they're fun, but over and over we get the same characters, we get the same scripts. And I know for me, like, I don't like playing the same character twice. I feel like it gets kind of stale. And so that's been one of the challenges of being like, I've played something like this multiple times. Like, so I would like to see it go into different genres and have the writing have, a different structure for the writing. Mm-hmm. Where maybe it's still cut short, but it still allows for more storytelling, because a lot of the scenes get cut so much where I feel like a lot of our acting isn't really even shown, because it's just like immediate cut. Because some of these scenes are like 3 minutes and they condense them to a minute. So we just like kind of lose a lot of freedom. So I would like to see that, Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. More flavor is what I would say. More flavor.
And I think fans are ready for new and ready for different. And so, yeah. And mm-hmm. we are ready for more Taylor as well. Your fans, hopefully one day we'll get to see you in person and maybe, get some autographs, that type of thing. I think that might be something that you might enjoy as well.
I would love to do that. That'd be just so fun. Yeah.
And I want to thank you for spending time with us. I can't believe that hour has flown by.
It is flown.
Thank you so much. It's been delightful. Really.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. I had such a great time.
Now, I saved the most difficult question for you to the end.
Ready.
And you kind of almost answered it with Marsha's last one.
Okay.
But and she did not use her Wayback Machine.
I didn't.
So I am going to use it, go back about a year or so when you first started verticals or mobile soap operas, as they were called when you booked your first one. You booked it. You went there, decided what the heck is going on here.
Exactly.
And then you had to come home and explain it to all your relatives what you just did. How did you explain it to them? Or did you just say it's a soap opera and moved on and didn't say anything else?
This question is the best timing, because near the holidays I'm explaining to everyone
what you're doing. Mm-hmm.
Because they're like, because I tell them I'm a full-time actor. I don't have other jobs at the moment. They're like, oh, that's great, but like, how do you get income? I'm like, oh, well, I do a variety of films. I don't just do verticals, but the verticals are the most consistent. And like, what's a vertical? I'm like, okay, it is a soap opera filmed vertically for your phone. And that's how I explain it. Mm-hmm. And I can't explain how they make the money. And like, I can't explain the ads that you can like click and like be like, I can watch 5 more episodes. I don't explain any of that, because that's like the business model. So, mm-hmm. But it is a little bit, the one thing is like, they don't typically, not every production sends you the vertical that you've done. Like some of them have sent me a link where I can watch it and then I can send it to some family members, because, I don't want my family members paying for them if it's like they're watching it for me, and they're not like regular consumers. They don't know how the apps work and they don't have the subscriptions. Mm-hmm. So I try to like explain like how it goes. So that's probably the most difficult part of it, but everyone's so far, since it's been some time, understands what the vertical is, how it's like the camera's turned and it's for the phone, and they're it's really fast. So that's how I explain it to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that's a good way. And sometimes it's better not to go into too much detail because, as you said, I tried to explain the business model to somebody and they got so confused. And I go, I shouldn't even have started this.
You're like, I don't know.
And then I just say, remember pay-per-view? There you go. And then that's all I say. And then I just go, it's not exactly the same, but it's similar. And it's like, whatever. Well, Taylor, I just want to echo what Marcia said. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah.
We've had a marvelous time. I hope you have.
Mm-hmm.
And Taylor, if you'd ever like to come back again, you got some more new stuff coming. If you want to, if there's a co-star that you did a film with that you'd love to have on with you and come back, we would love to have you.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So
Great.
if you can find somebody that wants to do it, just let me know.
Oh, you're gonna get a text from me very soon, right after this.
Sounds great.
Got plenty of people to recommend, amazing people I worked with.
Well, that's cool because we'd love to have that. So on behalf of Marcia and Taylor and all of us at NDB Media and Talented Universe, thank you all for coming. We have another vertical actress tomorrow. Oh, golly, now the name is gone. Courtney, right?
Courtney Coffee.
Courtney Coffee will be here tomorrow afternoon. So hopefully we'll all see you then. Like, subscribe, and follow us so you don't miss anybody. Take care, and we'll see you again. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for having me.